you want to explain a little bit about what you come out here to represent?
Yeah, we've come out here to represent Hope Sussex community. So we have built this amazing community of people down in Sussex. So we're all about, solution-based rather than, moaning about what's going on in the world at the moment. Get together with your people, build a community, and that's exactly what we've done down in Sussex.
And do you want to explain what sort of happens? What goes on with the land and everything?
Yeah, so 4 things really happen at Hope. So we are all about community and socialisation. So we have loads of really amazing events that we put on that helps to keep us going and keeps us building. So from festivals, conferences, workshops, all those kind of things. The second thing is about education and empowerment. It's all about, we really believe that schools are a toxic environment for children. Ultimately, that we have created a community of people who believe that their children are better off to be home educated. So we offer a space for independent tutors to come and rent rooms from us, put on amazing lessons where they expose the children to all sorts of different ideas, to free thinking, to questioning, and to loads of amazing things, to getting outside and doing some really great learning. So it's about education and empowerment of children and of adults as well. One other thing that we're doing is about food and sustainability. So we grow the most amazing organic vegetables at Hope, and we teach the children how growing from farm to fork, and they learn all about cooking as well and how important that is. So we have amazing teams of volunteers who come and help with our garden, and we're about to have a harvest festival because we've got so much beautiful produce being made in our garden. So that's really awesome. And the 4th thing is that we're just an amazing space for everybody to be and to come together. So we just love Hope, and it's just a really wonderful place. There's one of our tutors here, Matt. So Matt's part of the team. And
I need no introduction, I have you know.
Well, you never know. So yeah, if you haven't been to Hope, I'd urge anybody to come along and come see what we're about. And come and meet some of the community members there. We're all volunteers. That's the really thing that's really important about Hope, and one of the things that why it works. It's been one of the real success stories after all the turmoil and rubbish of the last 3 years, is that Hope has been built out of a real foundation of love. There's no egos. Egos don't work at Hope at all. And so, the people that we've got there are some of the truly best people you could meet. And it's a really lovely place for children to come and learn,
yes,
and make friends, and it's awesome. It's really, really great. So we've got loads of events coming up. So if you haven't been to Hope, go to our website, hopesussex.co.uk.
Onto Facebook, where we keep things updated constantly. Like today, for example, because we're representing Hope, which is why we're here, because it was born of protest, and that is our ethos, and we're here today representing. Amazing.
And can I ask, how many people do you have in this community? Is it okay if I ask you for
Of course.
How many people do you think you have?
Well, in our community, thousands of people. There are thousands of people who have heard of Hope, who've been to Hope, who support us regularly, who follow us on our social media pages, but regularly who come in throughout the week. We've got up to about 40, 50, 60 families who come regularly during the week, and we provide a space for them to help them with their home ed journeys. I mean, home education is obviously primarily at home, but it supplements any home ed that you do.
We're happy to help with whatever we can. If somebody's just got some questions, or if we can support in some way, we'll be happy to do so. Because it is quite daunting. Taking your kids out of state education is a daunting prospect, but there's ways of doing it and taking your time, doing it incrementally, deschooling first, and then looking at what you really want to do. So we're happy to help there as well. I would also like to add that we have nothing whatsoever to do with that bunch of clowns over there. They rejoin the EU. Because we are all we all voted leave, because we believe in freedom and don't believe in fascism. So anyway, just to let you guys know, we have nothing to do with that lot.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people have got the right to protest, and that's totally cool, but there was supposedly a vote where people voted to leave, and that's
But they have the right to. They have the right to stand. They have every bit as much right to stand there and protest as we do. But I still think they're a bunch of clowns, a bunch of selfish boomers worrying about their second house in France. This isn't about freedom. This is about them worrying about their pensions and their money and their second homes. So, but we've got nothing to do with that load of jokers, man. Cheers, man.
What I was going to ask, how did you get started on your homeschool journey? Because I interviewed you ages ago, Sadie, but do you want to speak about how you started?
Yeah.
Is it okay to have this one?
Yeah, of course.
So I was a primary school teacher of 10 years. At the start of COVID, we were questioning it from the beginning. Started to go on some protests. We were filmed at protests. No, we were photographed, and it was put in the paper, some mainstream papers. And some people from the school saw that I'd been on protests. I had already been quite vocal at school about, not making the children hand sanitise because their hands were bleeding and things like that. So yeah, I was, our home ed journey started, all the way back when we started the protest, and we just thought we're not going to do this. And I thought I can't be in this system anymore. I already struggled with it anyway because I was a teacher and my children were being educated by other people, and I thought this doesn't make sense. Why am I doing that? Why I don't get any of my children's time during the day? It's given to somebody else, and you ultimately you're handing over what's going in your children's heads to the state. The state decide on the curriculum. They decide what's
It's
going
also
in their
interesting. I was watching TV last night, and it was just a mainstream thing on TV, which I don't usually watch. But in it, the kid was at school, about a 14-year-old kid, and the parents were saying, I really hated school as well, don't worry. In other words, I hate school, my granddad hated school, my father hated school, but you've still got to be pushed into the system because I was. We've got to break the chain. You don't need to send your kid into that state brainwashing machinery, and it's got worse and it's going to get worse.
That's what David Edelman said, who wrote the book No School is No Place for Children. He said it's like a form of punishment, that it's because parents went through it. It's like a thing, that you
like
actually
some weird
enforce on
rite
your
of
children.
passage.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's unfit for our kids. Our kids go in awake, vibrant, open mind, ready to go, and they get that squashed out of them until they're in a round peg in a square hole, and then they get chucked out the mincing machine, then the next year come in to replace them. And it ain't good enough. We have rights. We have rights to help to home educate our children. We have rights.
Yeah, I think our children deserve better, and if we're wanting to raise children for a world that we don't know what that's really going to look like, we have to home educate them. You have to give them the skills, the life skills that they need. School isn't about doing that at all. We know that because you look at children who, young adults that are leaving university, they don't have life skills. They've got a degree, but they don't really have the skills needed to go into a workplace. Team working skills, problem solving, critical thinking. They don't have any of that. Home educated children do, and that is why. And I would urge anybody watching this who follows you guys, to really think about taking their children out of school, because it's totally viable. You can totally do it.
We never complied. We wouldn't wear those stupid things. So we took him away from it and decided to homeschool. And then we discovered hope. We discovered hope was 20 minutes away from us. And it was like, that's what we want.
We lived 10 minutes away from hope, and it was like a miracle find. It's not actually an education establishment, a school. It's more of like a community centre where kids have incredible experiences. I mean, amazing stuff.
It's not often that one talks about how to make the world a better place, how to fight back, how to
make sure the next generation aren't completely screwed up.
Yeah, how to make the world genuinely free. And this is a way forward, definitely. The kids are not brainwashed.
I personally don't know how you can send your kids to a normal school these days. I mean, I don't know what schools are like here, but in Australia, you can send your child to school one day and they will come back a different child, and you can't reverse that. And as a parent, I don't know how you could live with yourself. No offense, and I understand not everyone can homeschool. I understand that. But can you live with yourself if you don't homeschool?
It's been really interesting to be around these children. they have something which children I'm used to don't have. They have a hidden confidence and a kind of wisdom. And I think it's because, like Mike the Head was saying, in our system, in our education system, we basically, even if you're someone like me who doesn't want to bring this across, we, from the moment they enter, especially after early years, from the moment they enter year one at the very least, their own personal expression, what they want to do, what they believe in, what they value, all those things are quashed.
No offense to people, you've got to walk the walk, and if you have to move further out of the city or you have to change your lifestyle a bit, you have a responsibility to protect your children's innocence, because if you're not going to do it, no one's going to do it. So I'm sorry, you've got to make the hard choices. I know it's easy for me to say I don't have kids, but if I did, I promise you I would not be sending them to school.